Can you think of one?
Michael Jai White.
Can I laugh in your face?
Really?
Yes.
I felt like Stephen embarrassed himself. Because, I mean, Stephen hired me 3 different times himself. Why? If I'm not a good martial artist. I think nobody has a right to have such an inflated ego, especially when people can do what you do.
It's been over a week since 13-year-old Kymani Latigue was found in an abandoned house in East Toledo. Every day, new details surface, each more disturbing than the last. The shock hasn't faded. People are heartbroken, angry, and asking, how did this happen? One of the most unsettling parts? Kymani's father, Darnell Jones, who's now been arrested for kidnapping and murdering her, told his girlfriend to shut off the home's security cameras before he even arrived. She said he told her, "I didn't come home till 5 a.m. and didn't want them thinking anything." But she didn't turn them off. She knew something was off, and that decision might have been key to cracking the case.
You want me to do a martial art fight scene with you but I'm fighting on the side of racist white people.
Turns out Darnell was trying to hide something. And the question is, how long had he been hurting Kymani? And what did her grandmother, Dorothy Latigue, really know? This wasn't the first time Child Services got involved. When Kymani was at Bennett Academy, the school called in a report. Children's Services showed up, did a quick investigation, and closed the case. But what came out later is disturbing. Dorothy claimed CSB gave her guidance on how to discipline Kymani. "They told me to hit her on the behind, not anywhere else." Wait, that's not guidance. That's practically telling her how to get away with it. As more comes to light, it's clear Kymani had been suffering long before her death, and it's becoming harder to believe that nobody around her knew. When you look into Darnell Jones's criminal record, it's infuriating that he was allowed anywhere near a child.
Hollywood tough guy, in your opinion. You accept it, of course.
When you say tough guy, do you mean martial artist or just tough guy?
I mean, Stephen, for real. If he was on the street and there was a situation, you wanted this Hollywood guy by your side because he could defend himself. It's that hard to think of a legit one?
Can you think of one?
Michael Jai White.
Can I laugh in your face?
Really?
Yes.
His history isn't just long. It's violent, chaotic, and well-documented. Her body was found in horrific condition. The coroner said she had multiple incised wounds to her neck. She was nearly decapitated. Her hands were severed. And Jones, who wasn't even her biological father, was the last person to see her alive before she was reported missing. Police said he gave inconsistent stories and then ran to Columbus, where he pulled a gun from his sweatshirt when they approached. Fortunately, he was stopped. Ironically, it was his girlfriend who helped bring him down. She stayed suspicious and kept watching him. She saw him unload items from his SUV and stash them under the basement stairs. A rolled-up rubber mat for the back of the SUV and his work boots, covered in mud, even though he hadn't worked in a while. She called detectives. They got a search warrant, grabbed the items, and that's when Darnell vanished. She said that was the last time she ever saw him. Later, he called her from Columbus. She told police where to find him. She also said she left the house, scared out of her mind he might come back and hurt her or someone else. But here's the bigger question. Why was this man even around Kymani in the first place? Her mom wasn't raising her. Since she was a baby, she'd bounced between her grandmother and a godmother. But Jones, he was always around. And when you see his rap sheet, it's obvious he should have been nowhere near a child. His criminal record starts back in 2011. At 19, he was arrested for disorderly conduct while drunk and resisting arrest. That same year, he was charged with arson after trying to set a building on fire with a lighter and some flammable liquid. He got 4 years of community control, mandatory treatment, and a firearm ban. That ban didn't seem to matter. By 2015, he was arrested again, this time for shooting a man in the foot during an argument. He fled the scene and ended up with more probation and a few months in a treatment facility. Then came 2017. A man accused Jones of robbing his nephew.
Steven Seagal was so horrible on such a scale. It was such a huge scale of terribleness that it wasn't undeniable by anyone who was there. I remember at one point he locked himself in this dressing room because he said, you're saying Hans and Franz could beat me up, and I'm not coming out of the dressing room until you change the sketch. Like, I mean, it was really legendary, craziness.
When he confronted him, Jones hit the man in the face with a car alternator, splitting his nose and upper lip. The court gave him jail time, but most of it was suspended. The pattern? Violence, arrest, slap on the wrist, repeat. In another incident, he was caught trying to break into a house by prying open a front window. And in 2019, neighbors saw him throw 2 TVs off a balcony. But that's not even the worst part. Multiple witnesses said they saw him holding a woman, his wife, by the throat over that same balcony, threatening to throw her off. She was screaming for her life. Police arrived fast. Even though she didn't press charges, there was enough evidence to arrest him. He got jail time, probation, court-ordered treatment. Again. Fast forward to 2022, his final known arrest before Kymani went missing. He was picked up for being a felon in possession of a firearm, discharging a weapon, and disorderly conduct while intoxicated. How was this man not behind bars? Why was he in Kymani's life? And here's the thing. Her family had to know something. Or did they just look the other way? By the age of 13, Kymani had attended 6 different schools. Teachers noticed bruises on her arms. One teacher said she tried everything to get her removed from that environment but couldn't make it happen. I'm a parent myself, the teacher said. I did my best, but the system didn't listen. Lucas County Children's Services confirmed it had 3 reports on Kymani, one as recent as December 2023, and 2 more just before her death in March. They say they investigated, met with her alone, and found no evidence to remove her. They gave Dorothy discipline guidance and referred the family to Ohio RYSE, a behavioral health program. But come on, discipline guidance? This child ended up brutally murdered. How can you call that protection? And now, the grandmother's own interview has people questioning her even more, especially after she mentioned how she was told where to hit Kymani. That's not just a red flag. It's a flashing siren. And what about her mom?
Yeah, that wasn't easy. That was, I did a movie with him called Executive Decision.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
Oh yeah, all 3 of you saw it. and the first day we get together for rehearsal with the actors and the director, he comes in, I'm in command. What I say is law. You disagree? And I started cracking. I was like, I thought he was kidding. We were just hanging out.
Yeah.
And he Aikido'd me against the brick wall. Pow! Knocked all the air out of me. I was like, why? Why?
Yeah.
She's nowhere in this story. It feels like every adult who should have protected Kymani either failed or disappeared. This case is more than heartbreaking.
He's never seen anyone, aside from Steven Seagal, actually really hit stuntmen on set.
He was
so
really
he would actually hit the stuntman.
Broke the guy's face, split his face open from cheekbone to jawbone.
Wow.
I mean, he hurt people, for real. And Michael was not about that life.
It's a collapse of every system that was supposed to keep a child safe. And there might still be more people hiding the full story. What do you think? Was this preventable? Who else should be held accountable? Drop your thoughts in the comments.